Welcome to the Haymaker MMA Show with your hosts, Dillashaw and Ian Wall.
So welcome back again. We got a kind of a softer card on our hands here with a slapping main event, but a little softer main card here with Cory Sandhagen versus TJ, the CEO of EPO, Dillashaw, coming back after a 2-year layoff suspension for testing positive for EPO, like most of us know. And we'll see if that ring rust is a real thing for him, or if the surgeon, Cory Sandhagen, can get it done here. But starting us off on the main card, we got a 6-fight main card. We got a guy who spent most of his career in the UFC with Mickey Gall, fighting a newcomer from the Dana White Contender Series, Jordan Williams, who's primarily a striker, really dangerous striker. Mickey Gall, like I said, spent after he's had one fight outside of UFC promotion, all of his other career fights have been in the UFC. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, close to 10 fights in the UFC here. Got to expect him to improve from fight to fight. I think he's going to struggle here with Williams, especially coming off the loss against Mike Perry, who showed kind of if you don't engage in the grappling or can not get taken down, you can and come out throwing hard on the feet, you can get a win from him. But how do you see this one playing out?
So Jordan Williams made 3 appearances on Dana White's Contender Series after finally being given a contract where he lost his UFC debut in October of last year. But yeah, I like his striking. He has some solid finishes on the feet, but Mickey Gall is an expert, I would say pretty much an expert jiu-jitsu player, not good at all, like he was exposed against Mike Perry and the stand-up. But I do like Mickey Gall's size and his skill on the ground to just be able to take him down and hold him there and drag out a decision. I also like the value on Mickey Gall and the experience he brings to the UFC octagon. So Mickey Gall is plus 155 and Williams is minus 180. I just think Mickey Gall, he's a durable guy. He doesn't, I don't know, like Perry couldn't really knock him out even though he hit him pretty hard a few times. And if he can grab a hold of those legs and just make it a sloppy ground war, he'll be in control, but it will look sloppy, I think. And maybe pull off a submission or just get a decision win. He has 5 submissions in his career out of 6 wins, so he's an expert jiu-jitsu player. And I don't see Jordan Williams, who struggled against Imavov, obviously a great wrestler as well. He struggled against him a little and lost a unanimous decision. So I see it going similar to that. I like Gall's experience, size, and grappling, and the underdog money as well.
One of my counter to your points here is looking back at Mickey Gall's record here. You look at the Diego Sanchez loss in 2019, which was only not too long ago. Diego Sanchez has been looking like a shell of himself. You know, rightly so. And all the miles on the clock for him, and how many years he's been in it, and how much damage
and who
he's
hanging
taken.
out with too.
Yeah, right, exactly. You know, we'll save that for another day. But I'm proud of Diego and the choices he's made in the end. At the end of the day,
yeah, he got out of that spell. Good for him.
But going back to Diego's record there, got out grappled a lot in his later portion of his career, and that was kind of his bread and butter. Obviously, the pressure and having a great grappling and offensive wrestling and scrambling ability to fall back on, and then he really out grappled Mickey Gall.
Yeah,
landing hard punches, good ground and pound, good positioning, good takedowns. So I still think Mickey Gall, he's got the heart of a lion. He's doing mostly everything right. He's progressing the right ways, but I still think he's still very green in his career, in his techniques.
Martial arts game, I'd say.
Right.
He's still green.
And what worries me is Jordan Williams' finishing ability. He's a dangerous guy. He's a dangerous striker.
Yeah.
When he loses, but and it's usually by decision. If I can go back, he's got 2 losses by TKO or doctor stoppage and 2 by decision. But I think all of his wins are by finish. We got TKO, punches, ground and pound. Right, so I think just
position win. Yeah, you're right. Like early on in his career, really.
Him being dangerous, and I feel like Mickey lacking a little bit of intensity and being more of like a tactician in there, not really like a bloodthirsty kind of killer. I think Jordan Williams is going to have the upper edge. I'm going with my pick for Jordan Williams at, I believe he's an underdog.
No, he's a favorite.
He's a favorite, minus 188. So good.
Yep.
You're right. There's some good value on Mickey Gall there.
I'll give you that also with Jordan Williams and Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall is there to be hit, and Williams can put you out if you're there to be hit. Because he absorbs a lot of damage on the feet until he gets down to the really like wrestling, grappling positions. He doesn't do much damage, and he doesn't even defend himself well. So it is a possibility. I do see Jordan Williams knocking him out. But I think that Mickey Gall could just take him down and keep him there for a little bit. Show
his amateurness on the ground. I think that's the story of a lot of these fights coming up, to be honest.
Yeah. So,
Aspen Ladd in particular, but
up next on the main card we have two up-and-coming prospects in Miranda Maverick and Macy Barber. Macy Barber really came in hot in the UFC. She was on fire in the Contender Series, and then she got a couple of knockouts and TKOs early on, which is less
good
likely
signs.
for women. Yeah. Which is less likely for women to just come and bang like that. But she really made a statement, and that's why people were saying that she might be the youngest champ ever, like closer to John Jones, like in the women's section, obviously. But that didn't pan out. She lost her last two fights, unfortunately. In her first loss against Roxanne Modafferi, I think she tore her ACL and she couldn't walk on it. It was a real struggle for her in that fight. And then her comeback fight was against Alexa Grasso, a very skilled striker. And
another staple Mexican striker.
Yeah, the Mexican striker. And she got outpointed the whole time, clearly lost that one too. Miranda Maverick, on the other hand, she had a couple losses early on in her career, but then since being in the UFC, she's absolutely killed it. It's only been 2 fights for her, but she's dominated. She got a doctor stoppage in her UFC debut. She broke that girl's nose, I think. It was in the Khabib fight. Yeah, she broke her nose, and it was like
elbow
really
just
bad.
Sliced it right open. Crazy.
Yeah, so she's pretty vicious as well. And then she beat an experienced Julian Robertson, who is not doing the best right now, but she's a tough opponent for anyone. She's a UFC vet.
I think has the most fights in that division. Fun fact.
Yeah. It could be cut soon. Not gonna lie.
Right.
But then for odds we have minus 150 Miranda Maverick and plus 125 for Macy Barber. How do you see this playing out?
I don't know. To be honest, I think it's a bad move by the UFC. I think both of these ladies are big prospects or can be big draws in the future. And I don't think you need to match them up with each other yet. I think I think it would be smarter to give them a little run in the UFC or in their schedule. Obviously, nothing's an easy fight, but not making sure one of them goes home with a loss against the other.
I agree with that. And you think they should take a little Sean O'Malley look to it, like build them up slowly, let him knock some people out, then give him a tough fight,
and not under such a microscope. Yeah. Under such a microscope as Sean
because
is.
They're both could be top fighters in the future. But I think it's harder to do in the women's divisions because they have a smaller roster. I think for the women's, for the most part.
That's true. But what you get like one kind of no name fight, and then you're all of a sudden, and you kind of get a name from it because you had hype going into it, and then 1 or 2 of those, and then all of a sudden you're kind of I guess it's not true for Macy Barber in this sense, but I just feel like they both are both trajectorying up and can be great for the UFC or are both marketable people, I feel like. But I digress with it. I think Miranda Maverick, what she brings to the table, she's not really a good striker or like the best striker or the best grappler, but she's pretty damn good at both of them. And she's strong as an ox, man. She's just ripped. You can tell she's kind of just got that stocky, powerful build. And part of the things that I weighed into this was she's got a PhD in psychology. Do you know that?
I have heard about that actually on the John Anik and Kenny Florian podcast.
Right, so
they had her on, and she did mention that.
I didn't see that one, but so she's just she's very calculated and smart and has good game plans, but also has that like savage streak in her, man. Like you said, splitting that girl's Liana Jojo's nose wide open, doctor stoppage by elbows. Like you said, at that division, you don't really see too many doctor stoppage by vicious elbows on the
stoppage.
feet. Yeah,
Doctor.
Right. So I think she's, got all the right things. My knock on her would be that she doesn't have very good head movement. As you can see in the beginning of the Jojua fight, she didn't have to worry about it against Robertson because Robertson's striking his ass. But in the Jojua fight, Jojua was a Georgian wrestler and was kind of just countering, and she was Maverick's lucky she had that savage streak in her and can land heavy and is willing to walk through a couple shots to land her own because as far as just like point striking went, Jojua was hitting her pretty good. So then moving on to Barber, another crazy prospect like you were saying, another one who's like decent everywhere, doesn't really excel at any or excels everywhere, but isn't an expert in any division or any category. Has pretty good wrestling, has won some scrambles, has lost some scrambles, has thrown up some good submissions, arm bars off the bottom, has gotten arm barred pretty easily off the bottom, and doesn't have that same ripped frame, still carries a little body fat. I think they're
She's big. She's big for that weight class.
Yeah, she's a big frame.
Big girl. Yeah.
But not in the sense that like Maverick's big, like she's all bulky and stuff. And I think they're pretty good foils of each other, to be honest, because you got Maverick who's kind of cold. She looks like she's made of wood. Her personality isn't cold, but if you didn't know her and you're just watching her fight, she's got the mean look on her face. She'll walk through shots, and doesn't have the. And then you got Macy Barber, who's like super like bubbly and like kind of just like goes with the flow, has like that young kind of California energy. I got a fucking crush on Macy Barber if you didn't know. But this will be I think is a cool test to see what prevails. Sometimes you see that loose energy, even though it's all still worked hard for and calculated in the UFC, even if you come off as laid back or loose, or that kind of cold, hard Matt Brown killer instinct. My gut tells me that Maverick will get it done, but I think Macy Barber could be dangerous in this one, Landon, because she throws bombs, bro. She throws everything in her ground and pound on the feet. She throws hard.
Yep.
So, honestly, I like the prop bet of this one to not go the distance at plus 172.
Oh, damn. I would say this about Miranda Maverick, that she's a slow start, even though she broke Jojua's nose in the first round. She did get hit, like you said. Even Jillian Robertson, it took her a second to like get that down. Her like movements and stuff, like she starts off a little slow. And Macy Barber starts off hot. Like look at her finishes: round 1, round 2, round 2. Like all of them, she comes out flying. Like you said, she throws everything into her punches. I think it's a little risky, but that's a good fun bet to make, to not go the distance.
I'll even break it down a little more for it, because I can see, it's probably the same odds. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. I was going to say, because I can see Miranda Maverick, if they do get into a slugfest, having that iron chin, that made of wood, that going through darkness, making it bloody, landing those elbows. She lands inside elbows so good, and dropping Macy Barber, maybe making another doctor stoppage cut by that. And I can also see Macy Barber wobbling her ass on the feet from some heavy hooks, because she showed she doesn't have good head movement, especially in the beginning rounds. So maybe I'll say the fight to end in the first or second.
Even more so.
Obviously another a more make the odds better, but another sharp shot. One of the bets that you're not going to put just a couple bucks on, and
have some fun with it, basically. I agree.
Exactly. That's a fun one for me.
Yeah, but for the odds for the women, we got minus 150 for Miranda Maverick and plus 125 for Macy Barber. I am a little surprised because Barber's fought the tougher opponents and has more UFC wins, but I guess they're banking a lot on Miranda Maverick. They like what they see, the odds makers as well as the UFC also giving her a tough matchup. They're only 23 and 24 years old too, so like you said, it could be a bad or a good thing for both of them. I don't know. As for my pick, I'll probably throw in one of Ian's fun bets and not spend too much money and look to make a little bread out of it.
With my first or second?
First or second, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at so there's a couple options. I'm on FanDuel, and now they have the options to fight to start the third round.
Yep.
No, that's
No.
plus 245. Or if you go into the rounds and want to do round to end or fight to end in round 2, 750 plus 750. That'd be crazy. Something like that. I just see it finishing, but not betting the mortgage on it by any means.
Not at all.
We got my boy, Derrick, the Day Man. Yes, I love it. We got to get that to stick. Why does that not stick?
We got to send him some DMs.
Yeah, Derrick, the Day Man Minor. Looking straight off the set of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's made his life doing that Charlie work, grinding it out. At first glance, he's fighting Darren Elkins, who's a UFC vet who has just been who's notorious for his bloody ass wars, eating shots with his face. That's prime. His main mode of defense there. But Derrick Minor, on the other hand, he's only had a couple fights in the UFC, but he has had a long MMA career. He's fought in a lot of, not even journeymen, some guys who are doing really well later in their career here, like Clay Collard in the PFL. Has a win over him. And I guess going back in it, this Matt Brown win, is that the real Matt Brown? No, it's not.
I doubt it's Matt Brown's not a 145.
But Derrick Minor, a guy who is always known to get a quick finish. He has so many first and second round wins and losses. Let me see. He's got, holy shit, man,
a lot. He loves the quick sub. He loves the quick sub.
He's
22 submissions.
How many decisions? That's unbelievable.
22 submissions in 1 TKO, and he's lost 8 submissions, so it's quick. You're playing jiu-jitsu with him right away.
Damn, Derrick Minor, he hasn't had a decision win or loss. His last one was against Charles Rosa, but before that was forever. So who knows? This could be one of the ones that you could see somebody turning a new leaf or finally having UFC talent against you, and also getting your game up enough that you're not finishing these guys, but you're also not getting finished. However, Darren Elkins, the durable, the name is the damage, but he hasn't been putting out too much damage as of recent, but has some really notable good wins on his resume. You got Mirsad Bektic, who is definitely supposed to beat him in 2017. Michael Johnson, who's a guy who can give anybody trouble on any night, landing a couple on Khabib, gave Tony Ferguson trouble. Even Justin Gaethje in his first fight,
he knocked out Dustin back in the day. Michael Johnson did.
Poirier, yep, exactly.
Yep.
So great win to have under his belt. Then went on a 4-fight losing streak to Volkanovski, obviously the champ now, not a bad one to have. Ricardo Llamas, excuse me. Ryan Hall and then Nate Landwehr, who are all kind of just like pressure come for you.
Besides Ryan Hall, he's just a spider.
Yep, absolutely. I shouldn't even have said that. I was really thinking more Volkanovski and Nate Landwehr, but Ryan Hall, you can see that he's another guy. I feel like if you just come with the right game plan, you can I feel like you can beat his ass, but maybe it's easier said than done.
Get your ankle for half a second.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like all you have to do is spend an entire couple months on how to defend an Imanari roll, an ankle, whatever, and then you can at least do enough with punches involved. But whatever. I'm leaning Derrick Minor in this one. If he's gonna get it done, I think it's gonna be in the first round or two. I'm gonna stay away from that though, because I probably put like $2.50, $5 on that maybe. But I'm just looking at him straight money line. I think Darren Elkins is a guy who has so many miles on the clock, has taken so much damage. He's 37, and he's in, where do they fight, at featherweight here?
Yep.
Not one of the lightest weight classes, but as the weights get lighter, the more you have to rely on kind of that quick response stuff. And as he gets older, I think Derrick Minor kind of has that UFC breath in him, that he's in it, ready to make a good run. He's got 2 wins under his belt, that he's gonna try to carry that momentum through. I'm leaning Derrick the Dayman winner by money line here at minus 164. So odd makers are thinking he's going to get this done too. But Darren Elkins, love to see him get his hand raised. But I gotta go with my gut.
Yeah, Darren Elkins has been in the UFC since 2010. He's fought, before you mentioned already, Charles Rosa, Volkanovski, Ricardo Lamas. He's also fought Dwayne Ludwig, Charles Oliveira, which he lost, Chad Mendez he lost, Jeremy Stevens.
Damn. Dwayne Ludwig.
Chad Skelly, yeah, Dennis Bermudez, Michael Johnson, like you said. Dude, he's fought every fucking one in that division at 145. He has so much experience. But the sad part is every fight he goes into, he gets beat up. Even if he's winning, I think he just walks forward and just leaves his head hanging high. So I don't know about his durability. His submission game looks all right. Like, he can definitely wrestle himself.
He has to break you first. That's the problem. It's really submissions by breaking you.
Yeah. But Derrick Minor is, like we said, first round finishes, second round finishes forever, besides the last one, and he has 22 submissions. I like two props in this fight to not go to the distance is about minus 160. And Derrick Minor by submission is plus 420. Oh, wait. They made a mistake, actually. Hold on. Derrick Minor. No, actually, they didn't. Derrick Minor by submission plus 420.
Nice.
So I would either do submission or points, Derrick Minor, just so you get it a little better. I don't think he's going out there and knocking out Darren Elkins, but
that would be
yeah, that would be a shocker.
That would be a stars aligning moment for sure.
So I would definitely take that, just make it a little better odds than the money line. It's just a smart thing to do because Ian's pick was money line, and I can see it going the distance and him winning by points just because it's the UFC level now. But for sure, I can see a submission as well. So why not grab some extra money? All right, up next we got a bout at bantamweight. Raulian Paiva taking on Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips, well-rounded fighter, got an impressive win over Song Yadong, who people thought was going to be one of the real deals at 135 and a real problem. But Kyler Phillips got a solid win over him in March. He starts off fast, tends to slow down a little towards the end. Paiva, on the other hand, he's fought at 125 a bunch. He's faced Kai Kara France there. He's fought Rogerio Bontorin and Zhalgas Zhumagulov, the guy we saw last week. So all of those are 125ers. And is it Zhumagulov 125 135 now? I think he's 125.
When they fought, it was 125.
Yeah, all right. So he's moving up in weight. I'm guessing, obviously, he's had some weight cut issues.
A short notice fight, too.
Oh, it's a short notice fight. That's why. Yeah. So he wouldn't have to cut the amount of weight he usually does. So, for fight styles, we got Kyler Phillips, striker, and he goes for takedowns, and he's okay at them, not great, but if you're tired and you're a little hurt, he'll get you down. Paiva, on the other hand, primarily a striker. He likes to stand, but not like super good or anything like that. I like Kyler Phillips in this one. He's coming in with a full notice, unlike Paiva. He is the bigger guy. He's 5'8", and actually they're both the same height. My bad. But he's an actual 135er, and Paiva is a 125er. Doesn't hit that hard, and he hasn't been hit that hard either himself. So I think Kyler Phillips can get a decision here.
Yeah, I agree. Paiva, like you said, coming in on short notice. Both guys that are have a pretty big frame for flyweight, bantamweight.
Bantamweight.
They're fighting. This one's bantamweight. Yeah. Sorry, I got confused with the other ones. So Paiva. Yeah, Paiva's used to being in the cage at flyweight and having a really long, lanky frame, and has been, like you said, not the most powerful, but was able to kind of volume strike enough and kind of have that pinpoint accuracy that has gotten him the TKOs that he's gotten. Kyler Phillips, I think, just has awesome movement and angles. Like you said, those slows down big time in the second half of the fight. I think does great with it in the first round, and then 2 minutes into the second round, but then slows down and is a lot easier to hit. Luckily for him, he has a decent enough wrestling base that, like you said, when people start to get tired or He can mix it up well after doing a round and a half of striking and doing well with his angles and footwork and landing strikes that way. That's how he beat Song Yadong. Song Yadong had so much power. Every time he landed, it was like a damn freight train. But he just did so good with his angles and honestly wasn't scared of anything. Was willing to enter the fire, to get hit by one and still land. Maybe he gets hit by a glancing blow and lands his one too. Julian Paiva, like you said, is coming in short notice. Hasn't really gotten a chance to game plan. I think Kyler Phillips is a really tough guy to deal with if you don't have a game plan. Paiva's known for his gas tank, but short notice, like I said, it's going to have an effect on anyone. I don't expect it to be like his ultimate downfall, like he gasses in the second round. But I expect Paiva to not be as fresh and springy as he usually is, especially at if Kyler Phillips, lands some damage on him at a heavier weight class.
Yeah.
So
I just think that if Song Yadong can't put so much damage on you, who's a hard-hitting 135, Paiva's not going to do anything near that. So Kyler Phillips will be able to walk through him a lot easier.
Right, I agree. I think Kyler's got the chin, striking, grappling, and even though it's short notice, I would give the cardio to Paiva, but I think there's enough in his favor to get him the win for sure.
So Phillips is minus 260. I would put him in a parlay, definitely.
Yeah, honestly, that's really steep odds for me. I'm not minus 260 confident on him. I'm like minus 200, maybe minus 175 confident on him. But yeah, he would definitely, maybe go in a 2 or 3 person parlay just to get some
boost
value.
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I just think the odds are what they are because of the short notice. If it wasn't short notice and they were fighting each other, I think it would be closer to minus 175, like you said.
We got Aspen Ladd versus Macy Chiasson. I don't want to do him dirty, but goddamn, there's some good fights on the prelims and everything. Some shit that would fit this co-main great to boost some big guys up. I guess they're trying to give one of these girls a springboard to get some talk going in the media for their division.
Yeah.
But Aspen Ladd coming off of a TKO win against
Yana,
who's been honestly doing pretty good in the last couple fights. Some good showings.
Yeah, besides the Iron Aldana.
It shouldn't even look terrible in that. That was Irene Aldana's very good. And then Macy Chiasson, who's I think probably the biggest frame in that division, to be honest, at 5'11",
she's tall, bro.
72-inch reach. That's pretty damn big for a fighter that's at her level, coming off of a 2-fight win streak against Marion Renault, who we saw just lose this weekend, and Shayna Young, who I'm gonna actually look into her a little bit. Was it Invicta? Oh, that was back in Invicta. Oh, no. Shayna Young someone has one fight in the UFC against Macy Chiasson, and she beat her ass. So, Macy Chiasson, a big striker, kind of more of a lean on you in the clinch. Not the best grappling game, but is just a long striker who can use her strength and size pretty effectively in the octagon. I think it's been really forming that strategy or that game plan as her UFC career has gone on, as she's trying to find a what works best for her. And Aspen Ladd, I think, has all the tools in the world to be a champion or really make a good run for herself or have a great career. But I feel like her fight IQ is just not good. Even though she wins the Yana Kunitskaya fight, I think she could have used her grappling so much more. You see a Sajara Eubanks fight was really dominant or not. She ended up on her back, got taken down a couple times, but every time she got taken down, she reversed it, like full-blown reversal, and have Sajara end up on her back, and then would immediately abandon the wrestling game plan after that. And I think she's a great offensive wrestler, has great jiu-jitsu sweeps, and I don't know why she doesn't go to that well more. That's how she's gotten pretty much all of her wins with all these ground and pound, 4 ground and pound wins in the last 7 years. So, which is, good for the damn 4 ground and pound wins out of 8 fights. That's pretty damn good. So, I think if she can have a good have good fight IQ going into this and sticks to what she's good at and what wins her fights and what is her, sharpest knives in her drawer, I think Aspen Ladd has a really good chance of winning this. If it stays on the feet and she's a doofus, and because she just kind of goes into that walk forward, eat shots with your face, and try to land one or two of your own big ones. I think she gets angry, but she's young and durable, and she's like thick, so she can eat shots and eat damage and keep coming and not get stopped. But it's a terrible game plan. You don't win rounds like that. You don't win. You don't get points like that. So if Aspen Ladd can come out with an offensive grappling heavy approach, I think she'll have great success in this. If it stays on the feet, I think Macy Chiasson is just going to be too long and too strong and have too good striking and just be too strong in the clinch. And so on the feet, Chiasson wins. If Aspen Ladd takes to the ground, I got Ladd all day.
Yeah, Aspen Ladd gets super aggressive in all of her fights. She doesn't give a shit. She'll just walk forward, like you said, and throw bombs, like, regardless of whatever kind of defense she's playing. And that would be tough against someone who's 5'11" in your division. She fought, what's her name? Jermaine Durandamy, who's also really tall for that division, and got knocked out. So I could definitely see that happening. Chiasson doesn't have the power like Jermaine Durandamy, but she can definitely strike. She can keep her at bay for 3 rounds if she wants to, I think. I agree. Aspen Ladd has to make sure, like you said, come with a good game plan, and she has to mix in that wrestling. She has to use her body weight and keep Chiasson on the bottom for the most part. Like you said, she has the abilities to do it, but she hasn't been applying it so much. She might love to just stand and bang, which is fun, and it could be a very fun fight. But if you want to win rounds and points, you got to come with a better game plan. Chiasson, I think she's a good striker, and she can submit you as well. Just that height, man, that reach and that height at 135 pounds if you're 5'11", is almost like a cheat code, and it is harder to be taken down if you're so much taller as well. We'll see how Aspen Ladd can tackle that. I do like Aspen Ladd's aggression though. It could help her out just going forward. A lot of people, they shrink when someone's just coming forward at you. You get more tired going backwards, even though you're landing the better strikes. So we'll see what happens, but I like Chiasson plus 160 money line.
Yeah, I was looking at her Chiasson by points is plus 280. You think she's got a chance to get it done by finish, or you think it's gonna?
If I like the plus 160 anyway, it's plus money, So you bet a unit on it, you'll get more where you bet from, obviously. But if you're feeling real confident about the plus 280 decision, go for it.
I'm just thinking, dude, they got her at the prop bets on Chiasson. If anyone feels strongly, I think there's some valuable ass numbers. Chiasson by submission, plus 1,800. TKO plus 700 by points plus 280. I don't know. I feel like there's some value in this.
Yep, I'd say the most value's in points, but I'll still stick to money line for myself.
The final fight, the main event of the evening. The TJ, the CEO of EPO, Dillashaw, the snake in the grass, against the surging youngster, Cory Sandhagen, another dude who's just got such a big goddamn frame for the division. And what's weird is usually when you see those super tall and what you would think to be super lanky guys or have that big reach, they look like Stefan Struve usually, right? They're all kind of wiry and not thick, don't look like you could kind of break their forearm if you yanked hard enough. But Cory Sandhagen looks like he's got a little weight to him. He's still got some muscle to him. On the scales, he looks all shrunken out, but he doesn't. He's thicker for the reach he has. And going back and watching the fights, I was like, damn, Cory Sandhagen, for how tall he is, he's not as frail looking as he probably should be, or as most others.
Even O'Malley is that tall.
Right, perfect
he
example.
He looks pretty skinny.
Yep.
But Sandhagen not as skinny as O'Malley. I agree.
And then TJ Dillashaw facing all types of psychological X factors going into this fight. Like I said, the 2-year USADA suspension, layoff from the cage, after getting not even coming off a win and getting popped for USADA, coming off of a first round KO loss to Tenor Cejudo.
At 125,
at
though.
125. This fight coming back up to bantamweight where he had his runs before.
Two-time champ.
I think there's just a lot of uphill battles for TJ Dillashaw. At 135, he's 35 years old, which is, like I said in the Darren Elkins breakdown, in these younger division or these lighter divisions, once you get past 30, you're fighting against Father Time. Everything's about your quickness and endurance and your fast twitch and your reactions. And as you get older, that after 30, that kind of compounds every year. It doesn't go away. You can't really shake that off. So I think there's that problem. There's a 2-year layoff, which is tough for anybody. And then you throw on top of it the PED violations, and I'm a firm believer that he built a big career on PEDs. Or do you disagree?
I don't think so. Just because, he was a champ, he was getting tested every single fight he had, consistently every year. I think he took the EPOs because he wasn't going to make 125, and that would have looked terrible if he missed weight for a championship fight. When he called for it, he was like, Henry Cejudo, I'm coming down for your belt. And if he canceled and if he couldn't make weight, if you look at the photos of him making weight, they're disgusting. He looks scary. Scary, sick. He looks horrible. I felt bad for him. No reason to do, illegal substances, but I don't think he really cheated at 135.
Here's my rebuttal for it. EPO doesn't do anything for you losing weight besides being able to run more or maybe sweat out more. And then the nail in the coffin for me for it is you go back to the first press conference or the first fight press conference with Cody Garbrandt where he says, he's on everything. He's got all the supplements. Yeah, he's showing all the guys at Alpha Male how to do everything. Yeah. And, if that's just in text or whatever, that's you can be like, oh, that's bullshit. It's just they're talking shit. But they pan to TJ, and you can just, it's written all over his face, man. So,
yeah, I guess that's a terrible look. That if Cody's he's doing all this at Alpha Male, and then he actually
fast forward 3 years,
4 years, whatever, and he gets popped.
So just the fact that somebody's saying it at any point before he's even thinking about going to 125 for this fight makes me think, it's been a thing for a little while, and that opens the floodgates for how long, it's at least, in my eyes, at the very least till 2017 or, a year or two before 2017.
So I agree with the EPO thing that it doesn't help you cut weight, but he was getting a disease, and to fight that disease he had to take, or something like that, because his immunity was so low, he was cutting that shitty weight in such a bad way, losing just water and stuff that they do. It's just so unhealthy anyway, and plus he had to lose 10 more after his usual weight cut. And that EPO would just help him keep his immunity high, you know what I mean, is to be able to fight all the other shit.
I'm not defending him. I think he's got you fooled tonight.
Dude, I'm not defending him or anything, but I'm just saying, if he's not tested, if he's not guilty, I can't even fucking remember. Guilty until proven innocent. So he was guilty for that one.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Whatever. Yeah. Whatever. Innocent until proven guilty. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Right.
And he was guilty when he was, not before that, not after that. That's my point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's got a bunch of people right where he wants him with that shit, and I feel like I'm not getting fooled by him.
Dude, but I don't care if I am fooled, dude. I enjoy him watching fucking fight. Good for him.
I'm going to enjoy Cory Sandhagen beating the tits off him this goddamn week because I think he's young. He's kind of what TJ Dillashaw was, 6-7 years ago, coming in, maybe even more than that, 10 years ago, coming in out of the Ultimate Fighter, had a couple of losses here and there, but always came back and had exciting fights. It was always getting better. It was knocking people out. It was having great performances. And Cory Sandhagen, another guy, has just been on a goddamn tear. Got choked out by Aljamain Sterling and super quick, which was doesn't sit the best with me. But
that was just a good game plan from Aljo, or it was just something that clicked. And the first takedown, and he just got his back. That was the whole fight, and he choked him out.
My theory is Cory Sandhagen has an awesome skill set and is really good at beating the brakes off of people who are a lot shorter than him. because he's so used to having that bigger frame with it, right? Then you get to Aljamain Sterling, and he's kind of got a similar frame to Sandhagen and had some trouble with it.
Yeah, Aljo's a big boy at 135.
So
I think he fucks up Aljo, though, if they fight again.
Who's that, Sandhagen?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll see.
He's my favorite fighter at 135, so I will ride with him a little bit. Yeah, Cory is.
Yeah, I'm a fan of him too. Fighting at an elevation now. I just feel like there's too many, even just the fight breakdown aside, I feel like there's too many things going against the favor of TJ Dillashaw. He's too old in a weight division that's too light. I feel like he's had at least the last older portion of his career on EPO, made a career out of being that never-ending gas tank. I don't think he has that crutch on him anymore to be able to do it, and if he is doing it or trying to find a way around it, he's a goddamn fucking idiot. And I think Cory Sandhagen is just his angles are great. He uses range great. He doesn't engage in the phone booth brawls where TJ Dillashaw really lands his good shots, his good counters. Sandhagen, even though he's at range, lands great power shots, those great knees. The flying knee of Frankie Edgar, goddamn, showed, I think, a similar skill set. Or I think Dillashaw shows a similar skill set as Marlon Moraes. And I think Sandhagen tooled him up pretty good, showed what he can do with that. And I just think Sandhagen's got, or I think more so than anything, Dillashaw's got too many things going against him outside of fighting style and stuff, and I think there's too much shit going for Cory Sandhagen in his young career right now. I got Cory Sandhagen all day. I'm pretty confident on this one.
Yeah, I'm all Cory Sandhagen too, but I will say that Dillashaw is a sick fuck. Like, he loves to just beat people up, and he loves to work hard. He's there for the grind. He's always working. I know he took 2 years off, and it does weigh on you.
Is he always working because he's on EPO, or?
Dude, I mean, is he really built different? You see it how you like. This is how I see it. I just think he's a sick fuck who just loves to fight, and he's super aggressive. Like, it does play well for him, and I think he's a little more well-rounded than Sandhagen. I think they're pretty even on the feet, although I think Sandhagen might be better now, and especially with the reach, because he's 5'11", and TJ's 5'6", so he has the longer limbs for sure, and he knows how to use them. He can get in and dig in with that body. He loves that hook to the liver, and his kicks, his knees, and his jab is also very effective. That's Sandhagen. TJ Dillashaw got some nice hooks, but he is the shorter man, so it'll be hard for him to close the distance. We saw what happened to Frankie Edgar. He closed in a little bit, and Sandhagen just kneed him into oblivion. But Dillashaw has the better wrestling. If you look early on in his career, he's used all those tools to win fights. He's a collegiate wrestler, world class, and I just think he is the more well-rounded fighter. Like, we haven't seen much of Sandhagen on the ground. The only thing we saw is that unfortunate loss to Aljo, who is a great grappler in his, to be fair to him. But I think Sandhagen just comes in with, he has become a sicko too himself now. If you listen to his interviews, he's like, I'm coming for everything. I want to be the best. I am the best and stuff. Like, when people think of MMA, they should think about, and MMA bantamweight division, they should say Cory Sandhagen. And I think once this fight plays out, I'm guessing the winner gets the belt, and I hope it's Cory. And I think Jan beats Aljamain in their rematch, and Sandhagen versus Peter Yan will be a really fun fight. And I think out of anyone, Cory Sandhagen has the best chance of beating Peter Yan. Even though, like, Peter Yan's a fucking bad motherfucker. He's a scary dude, so powerful, so skilled.
I was gonna ask, where do you think they go off of these wins? But TJ Dillashaw unranked. I think he shoots up to a title shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting the number 1 contender, so number 2 contender. So yeah. Like, if you're coming in, also we forgot to mention, like, they used to be training partners. Like, Dillashaw used Sandhagen a lot when he fought Dominic Cruz, because they have, like, Sandhagen got some serious footwork, some serious defense as well. Like, so they have trained, and a lot of people have said that Sandhagen used to get the better and frustrate TJ Dillashaw, and that was like 5 years ago when
interesting. I never heard.
23 and 24 years old. Yeah, when he used to bring Sandhagen in always to train with him. He used to give him a tough time. So,
Nice.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Sandhagen's gotten so much better. We haven't really seen TJ because of the loss to Cejudo and then the suspension, so we can't say he's been getting a lot better like Cory. But yeah, man, I like Cory Sandhagen for sure. He's my favorite fighter in that division. I'm gonna ride with him. He's the man. I love how he speaks, his demeanor, how he fights. I think he's gonna be. I hope he's a champ someday, but he's a top fucker. He's a top guy, top fighter.
Get her done, Cory.